a way, I feel like this movement that's going on here and then getting like louder and growing, which is amazing to be part of. But such a disappointment that actually this movement or so the solidarity and the support of women is actually not hitting those big institutions that actually are much more rigid and patriarchal than we thought.
It takes this. I mean, it takes things like this, to be honest, raising awareness about, different kinds of stories and different kinds of storytellers. And I think money talks. I think it always has. So honestly, it helps that people came out to the theaters for a movie like ours. And if there's any way to kind of spark that momentum for movies that are, maybe not outwardly the same as a lot of the sort of tentpole films, but still have so much to say. So I'm hoping for that. I'm hoping for change at the root.
And within the kind of general category of women, we need to look at women of color. Because women of color, the opportunities for women are not as great as men, but the opportunities for women of color is significantly smaller than white women. And we have to be honest and candid about that disparity and talk about what does that mean to have that glass ceiling affect us on racial and gender lines. And I think it's a lot of things. I think it's systemic changes. I think that it is supporting each other within the filmmaker community and promoting each other's work, and financing and being gatekeepers, and expanding the possibilities of the narratives that are being told and shown on screen. And also men need to talk about it as well, because mostly men are the gatekeepers, so they need to talk about it and not just put women in the roundtable discussions about the disparities.
I think every filmmaker fantasizes about the opportunity to play with those resources, to have that many tools in your toolbox to go and make something great. And women are historically not given that toolbox, not given the opportunity to work, to play with those stakes. And I think what will change it is we need to facilitate more films by new female voices. 51% of film schools are female. So it's not for lack of talent, it's lack of opportunity. And what needs to happen are more grant programs. Studios need to fund first features. I'm here today because Annapurna produced my first feature. That's taking a risk on a new voice. We need people to be willing to take risks on new voices. And it's not just about women, this is diversity in general. We need to reach away from the straight white male storytelling community and say, who else has a story to tell? And I think it's happening. This year is such a good year for women in film, for directors particularly, and I'm inspired and I feel good. But I think to continue, more people need to take risks on women.
I think these conversations, everyone continuing to talk about it, continuing to talk about it when it doesn't happen and how that's not right, and to point out the figures and the percentages and how much money those movies make that are made by women, and I think just keep talking about it until we don't have to anymore.